Good afternoon. Happy Monday to you all. Tottenham Hotspur Circus is in town. Before we get going, I've just literally stumbled across this Savva. Stop telling people the agenda about Levy, and now you're doing the same thing. Make your mind up. Oh dear, top 943. Let me take you to the doctors and get your ears checked. Don't worry, mate. Kuva, Paratici. It's a circus. Let's get straight into it. I don't even care how you are. I'm not going to ask how you are. I don't want to know. It's an effing circus, isn't it? Who wants to start? Go.
Go for it, mate.
We are a circus, and it's the clowns that are operating our football club once again doing clown behaviour. It's balmy. It's balmy. We operate. We're the only club in the league that operates like this. We're looking at teams bottom of the league showing more ambition than a club that is supposedly Champions League quality. Insanity.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, Kuva, look, we don't know that the deal is dead. Let's start with Porro. Let's be fair. This is where this all began today. We don't know the deal is dead. Depending on the source, we're hearing that it's definitely off. Then you're hearing that it's something to do with 2.5 million of admin fees. I can't believe that. But Sky are reporting that it's not off, but it's not on. I like that. That's a good one. I really like that. That's what my ex-girlfriend told me once. But what do you... Kuva, you're not surprised, are you, mate? You are not surprised in the slightest.
No. Who is? Who is? We do this all the time. That's the point. That's the real point. It doesn't even matter if we somehow or some miracle end up getting Poro. So the fact it's the same as always. It'll be to the 30th or the 31st of January before we get the signing in. Everybody else done business early. Not a problem. Ours is always dragged on and on and on. It's like a little mini drama in its own right. We should be like Spurs transfers, the series. Sky on that Netflix or something. It's just pathetic. I'm just looking back at the what we were talking about at the beginning of the window. What did we expect? Yeah. What did we hope for? And we're hoping for right wing back, couple of central defenders, maybe a creative midfielder. That'd be a great window. That would have been stellar. And then you asked the question, what do we expect though? And I said, I think we'll drag out one signing to the end of the window and end up with just a loan deal.
Yeah.
I'm dangerously close to that now. And that's shot. You shouldn't be like that. To be able to predict it is worse than the fact that it's actually happened.
Kuvradamus, I'm going to start calling you.
With that, is it? We all knew it.
Of course. Of course, just quickly, big up to Amzo's just become a YouTube channel member for my channel. Thank you so much. If anyone else would like to, please do. Please smash that like button. This is our lunch hour. It's my lunch hour. Started work at 7 this morning, so I'm a little bit tired. But here we are. Feel sorry for me. Guys, let's move on to this. Reports in the last half an hour are coming out, right, from Paulo Keith. I'm seeing it from all of these different people now that Daniel Levy, last one, Spurs are putting it out, but Paul O'Keefe has said it. Levy is taking over negotiations. There are 30, if my maths works, there's 32 hours of the transfer window to go. Is that right? Good maths? 24, 36, 34 hours, something like that of the transfer window to go. If Levy's not been taking the negotiations so far, Perchi, are we saying that this is all on Paratici? Are we now saying Paratici's not got this over the line? What's going on?
And this is the point. It actually doesn't matter who takes over it. My point being is if there was such a problem, why is it taken until the day before the transfer window shuts? It goes on. If there were problems going down the line, and it is quite incredible it is incredible what propaganda and media can do. Because I've read a lot of Portuguese reports that are saying it's actually Tottenham's fault. We're seeing a lot of the UK-based stuff saying it's Sporting that have pulled out. So we don't actually really know what exactly is. But my point being is regardless of all of that, and really I don't believe a lot of that, I really don't care about all of that. The fact is we've got this to the day before the transfer window closes. for our main target, who from what we've all read, he's clapping away the fans on the weekend because he believes he's on his way to Tottenham. And the fact it's not getting done is completely unacceptable. And and this is the point. If I read that with 12 days before the window, the release clause became invalid. So 19 days into this transfer window, we could have paid the 45 million quid or 45 million euros, whatever it is, and he's our player. Why have we not done that?
The thing is, right, look, even if this is, Kuva, even if this is all on, I think the words they used was renege, right? Even if reneged their side of the deal, right? Even if that's the case, I'm sorry, but it's the 30th of January. You've had all summer, right? Arsenal, for example, pushed for Mudryk, didn't get him. 48 hours later, Trossard's through the door, right? Backup plan, succession plan. We are still going to have fans, aren't we, Kuva, that are going to pull out the line. This one's not on Daniel Levy. We are going to have that, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've seen it all today.
Levy literally has his own fan club.
It's mad.
I don't understand some of the people that follow this club because it's not for the football.
It can't be.
There's no way. Yeah, it can't ever be his fault. Everything's rosy no matter what. All those evil clubs that break down negotiations with us that don't with other people. We're so unlucky in that regard. You know, we catch them all on bad days almost every time. And it takes forever to push a deal over the line.
It's just mental, isn't it? I mean, look, from my point of view, what makes me laugh is all summer we heard that Paratici has a set way of doing transfers, and he has 5 to 10 players in any one position. He's in negotiations with them all, and then apparently at the last minute pulls the trigger. This window, all I've seen is that we're in negotiations with this one player. The Danzuma deal was an opportunistic moment, which is fine. That's cool. Yep. We're not going to get into that today because it is what it is, right? But Pedro Porro was the number one transfer. If this deal doesn't get over the line, guys, I mean, is this new lows for Tottenham Hotspur? I mean, I know we've seen this all before, but at what point do we go, hang on, we can't even get a £45 million defender over the line? Is this a new low, Perchie?
I think this just sums up everything about this football club. Everything about this transfer sums up us as anything. And it was quite funny because the other day, Savva, we was on the thing and people were bemoaning, look at the lack of ambition about Danjuma. And people were saying that me and you were Levy lovers because we went, why are we having a kickoff about an opportunist loan deal with Danjuma?
Yeah.
And everyone was going, you just all back the owner. I said, no. I could be. And I said, the Pedro Porro one is the reason on it, is the one that you have a go at. And it's quite ironic now. Everyone's now jumped on that bandwagon. I said, this is the transfer that should have been done 3 weeks ago. I said to you, it should have been done on the first week of the transfer window. He should be playing in the games, the Man City game, the Preston game, and all that crap.
Yeah.
And this is exactly where I've had this point about it. And I said, everyone was going on about the Danjuma deal. Everyone was going saying, where's the ambition? No, the ambition's on this one. We should have had this deal done weeks ago. And the fact is we're now getting to the stage where we're going to get to deadline day, and we don't know if this player is going to be playing for Tottenham anymore. And it's horrendous.
I think the thing is as well, Kuva, when I look at this, right, it's, Fabrizio Romano has said Tottenham are still working to resolve the issues and get the Poro deal done. All parties are in contact. I mean, we've heard this from, he gave the famous "here we go." It's only Spurs that could. I mean, I heard someone say this earlier. Someone said only Spurs could bottle the "here we go." Like, here we go. I mean, I just don't know anymore if I can deal with this. Like,
the thing is, this isn't a new low. This is just a continuation of what we always do. I don't see any difference. So some go through miraculously, and a lot don't. If you draw up the list of failed signings we've made over the years, big names.
Not bad 11, is it?
Yeah, spot on. There's spotted one in one of the chats earlier. There's some
is,
ridiculous names on that. But yeah, I'm with Perchi on the fact that it's ridiculous. It's this late in the window as well. What should have happened during the World Cup? We should have sorted out what was happening with Conte and what's happening with the signings. It should have been bang, bang, bang at the start of the window. No messing about. Show what your intentions are. Show a bit of ambition. Show a bit of leadership from the top. None of that. It's crawling around in the bargain bucket at all times and try and haggle your way into the next bucket up by offering less than what that club wants. Just put in a massive bid of whatever they were asking in the first place, or as close to it as you can, and then just say that's it. There you go. Stick to your guns. No, we got to haggle it. Change the structure of the deal. Never suitable for anybody else. And then when a club pushes back and actually does what we do to other clubs, it's suddenly, it's not our fault. Yes, it is our fault. We're guilty of it all the time.
Karma.
It is calm. Calm is the perfect word for it. Calm is the perfect word for it.
I mean, to the point, I absolutely loathe us. I feel like in transfer windows, you know what? I hope we mess this up. Serves us right.
We always mess it up, Kuva. We always mess up. I don't remember when we had it. Yeah, go.
So I was just going to say, the thing is, look, this deal could come through in the next 24, 30, 36 hours, however long is left. But as Kuva said at the beginning, even if this deal does come off, it's just the manner in which everything takes forever. And right now, we shouldn't be scrambling around for a right wing back. We should have a right wing back in, and we should be going, right, where's the centre back? Where's the creative midfielder? And this is why, guys, for me, all of these people that want to take this issue with Danzuma, I'm like, guys, forget that. That's not the issue. Exactly. Danzuma was a loan deal. That is not the issue at this club right now. He is replacing Brian Hill, who has gone out on loan. Now, Kuva, I know what we were saying, that's a joke in itself that it's a loan to replace a loan, but that's a different story, right? The issue is that we are now 32 to 36 hours. I'm just going to say 36. We're 36 hours away from the transfer window shutting, and Tottenham Hotspur have not got a right wing back. We have not brought in a centre back. We have not brought in a creative midfielder. And the manager has not signed a contract, right? I don't know if he's been offered one, but the manager at the moment isn't here. Harry Kane has not signed a contract. Hugo Lloris needs to be replaced, right? The whole thing is a shit show, but we beat Preston 3-0 and everyone goes, oh, it's amazing. Savva's in the mud.
Here's the thing. What if those FA Cup ties had been against a half-decent side? What if it was us that was drawn against Brighton or something that Liverpool knocked out Liverpool? What if we'd been knocked out and we could have had Pedro Porro playing instead of Emerson Royale or Doherty?
Right.
That's the questions you've got to ask. What is the benefit of having a player early who can settle in well before the end of the season with a bit of luck, compared to those 30 days without him? It could have made a big difference. Well, would have. Look at our right wing backs, bloody awful.
But the thing is, you're right, Kuva, and all these people saying about the here we goes and all that crap, like it's all a bit. We all kind of said a bit of a jest and stuff. I'm seeing everyone said that it's all a bit of a joke when we hear the. I mean, I don't really take anything until they hold a shirt. For me, that's the way I look at it. But the bit I'm saying is even
Kuva's gone one further than that. Kuva's invented a new saying, isn't you, Kuva?
Oh, which one?
It's not about when they hold the shirt.
Oh yeah, you can't even do that anymore because they don't even play. Jed Spence doesn't even play.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah,
no, I just don't believe anything until they get on the pitch.
Yeah, until they pass the football. But the point I have is even if we sign Pedro Porro, we suck the life out of new signings. Does anyone else feel that? Like with new signings now with Tottenham, I don't care anymore. Like you hear about these names for months and months. And then they sign, you're going, it just felt finally it's happened. Like, who cares anymore? Like, even if we don't sign him anymore, I'm at that point where I don't even care anymore. Like, I was excited weeks ago. But St. Kuva said earlier about the World Cup. This window had no reasons for us to not put our ducks in line. Because we had 6 weeks before the window where we had no football. So the people in charge went, do you know what do we need? The manager wants a centre-half, a right wing-back, and then he wants one of the attacking wingers out, so we're going to try and get another one in. So we go, okay, we're looking for 3 players here. Danjuma, maybe we nicked him off Everton. Okay. Pedro Porro is the one we want. And the other centre-half, we're going to see if we can get the right deal over. I have no issues if you don't get them the players you want. The fact is, we all knew Pedro Porro had a release clause of 45 million euros. So we had, in our heads, we had no excuses to not get that done, really. Yeah. Only Spurs can mess up a deal. Only Spurs can mess up a deal for a player that has a release clause. It's incredible, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another one that's an absolute horror to think of. Imagine what our team would be like if we had to sign somebody else instead of having Harry Kane come through free.
Oh, it's insane. You couldn't make we'd be look at the strikers before Harry Kane.
Oh, can you imagine? We would be Harry Kane,
Janssen, Soldado.
I've said this for years. Harry Kane has glued this club together.
He is.
Right?
He's sticky taped this together.
All of this, look where we are now compared to where Enic took over and Champions Leagues. For me, Harry Kane did a lot of that. Not anyone else, but we'll come to that a bit later. Just a few quick things. We've got new members, 3 new members today. So welcome, thank you very much. XOGXLO became a YouTube member. Craig Fenn has become a member. We had another one earlier in the show as well. So big up to all of you. I think Amzo did. One thing I would say, please, can we not talk about other YouTubers in the show? I don't want that. None of us want that. Let's talk football, all right? I'm not going to engage in any talk about anybody else. This is not what we're here for. And it is, I believe they call it shit stirring. So please do not talk about anyone. And I know we've got super moderator Kaufman in the chat. Ben, if people do get ridiculous with it, please block them.
Yeah. Big up, Ben.
Guys, let's talk about the obvious. Okay, let's talk the obvious. If this deal is off and we don't know, again, look, we're all hypothesizing. What's our plan B? Because our plan B down the years tends to have been don't do anything, shovel it under the carpet, and then all fans go, don't worry, it's January, it's tough in January, we'll do it in the summer. What's our plan B?
I think the silence says it all. Does anyone have a clue?
NFL.
Right. NFL.
Sorry, that's plan A, really, isn't it?
What other right wing back with? I mean, I would love to think they've got someone on the list, right? But with this short time, unless we've been speaking to them, you're going to have to pay through the nose to take a player from a club. With you're giving them less than 2 days to get a deal done for a replacement. The name I've seen a few times today, guys, is Tariq Lamptey. I don't know. Look, I mean, you look like you wanted to laugh there, Perchy. Tariq Lamptey, everyone in the chat, would you take him? Is he an option? How much would he cost? Perchy, go.
Tariq Lamptey, yes. Would I have him 100%? I think he's a great player. Will we sign him? Well, the fact that we can't even get a player that had a 45 million euro release clause over the line now, if people think we're going to sign Tariq Lamptey, you're too far gone for me to have the conversation. Will we need to pay 60 million quid for a Lamptey on deadline day? Easy. He's a homegrown. He's got homegrown status, so you don't have to worry about that. He's a decent player, and what we say Tariq Lamptey. What we're going to end up getting is Adama Traore on loan. Let's be frank and obvious. That's what's going to happen. Adama Traore on loan is good because he's the one that keep murmurs about Adama Traore seem to happen. I don't want him at the football club. I think he's bang average.
I think he'd turn us down. I genuinely do.
What, Lamptey?
Adama Traore.
Oh my God. I mean, you can see it, can't you? You can see it coming. I feel like a really crappy, flimsy loan like a Traore is in the offing.
So just someone said Shippets that Tariq plays for Ghana. Yeah, he does play for Ghana, but he's homegrown in the UK. He can play for Ghana and still be a homegrown status. So
because he grew up at the academy at Chelsea, right?
Yeah, he came up through. He's English born, but he played for Ghana because he changed his allegiance to play for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kuva, what are your thoughts on? Listen, I don't mind Tariq Lamptey, but if we were saying, Kuva, do you remember we were looking at Poro and saying, Conte normally likes a bit more of a physical right wing back. I mean, Tariq is a complete level down from Poro, not in ability, but in terms of physicality, height, in everything. Can you see any legs in that deal at all?
No. Seriously, no. I think Pochi hit the nail on the head. Look at the price it's going to be. If we're haggling our way possibly into missing out on Porro, Lamptey's going to cost what, 60 mil, something like that.
I look how much Brighton sell players for. Ben White, 50 million. Caicedo, 70 million is being touted to go to Arsenal. They're not gonna sell anything less than 50 million quid. So
they're not going to let go of Caicedo, Trossard, and Tariq Lamptey all in one window, are they?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they get 70 million for each player, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Let's be frank and obvious with it.
And they've just
as for Plan Bs, I just saw something in the comments. People keep saying Plan B. All I keep thinking of now, there's an old sci-fi B movie called Plan 9 from Outer Space, which any sort of film buff will remember is like one of the worst films ever made, where the set wobbles and everything. That's us. We're not Plan A, Plan B. We're Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I tell you what, we talked about this before, right? Look, I've just watched. Luckily, I work from home quite a lot, and I was just watching the Sky Sports News transfer show, and they were going around the different clubs, and Bournemouth are in conversations with players. Crystal Palace have just signed a player. Newcastle are in talks to try and get Conor Gallagher. John Joe Shelby's going to Nottingham Forest. Felipe is in talks with Nottingham Forest from Atletico Madrid.
Keylor
Navas is in talks for Nottingham Forest.
Yep.
Arsenal have had a £70 million bid rejected for Caicedo. Chelsea and 120 million. There's talks that Man City will reignite their interest in bringing back Pedro Porro now that Cancelo's gone. Everyone's in talks. And we're just sitting there. And Jamie O'Hara, who I hit and miss for me, has literally said it this morning. He said, all we do is buy players to bolster the bench. And he said, if this is the case, Daniel Levy has got to go. And I mean, surely this unites everyone, doesn't it? This window's been absolutely farcical.
You'd think it unites everybody, but of course it won't. Like I said, Levy has his own little fan club. It's baffling.
I mean, it is baffling, and and do you know what it is I'm now at the point, and I said this to you earlier in the window. I don't care anymore. Like, I sit here and I can moan, but I expect it now. I don't sit there and go, I expect us to mess up transfer windows. Like, would anyone be? None of us said, "Oh, it's an amazing window if we'd signed Porro and Danjuma." But you'd have gone, "Do you know what? It is what it is. We can get on board with that because Pedro Porro was our number one. Pedro Porro was our number one option. So we've gone. Do you know what? At least we've gone and signed our first choice option at right wing back because that's where we needed to sort out. But we get it wrong all the time." I can't remember when we've gone and said, do you know what? Our number one target, we've got it signed in week 1 of the transfer window. Number one of the transfer window. When was the last time we went, do you know what? Our number one target is this player, and we signed him immediately. I can't remember a time we've ever done that.
And the worrying thing about it now, guys, is if Porro isn't able to happen, we're talking about a club that takes 3 weeks to get deals done, now needing to do something in just over 24, 30 hours. And that's going, first of all, for them to agree to talk to Daniel Levy. Second of all, to go, yes, we'll let the player go without having a backup ready. Third of all, going, we accept your shitty little bid, whatever it is, 15 million and a packet of quavers. And fourth of all, the player agreeing to go in, yeah, I know, let me up and go on transfer deadline day. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't feel like I can go to different levels of infuriation, and
also throw into the mix the news of City. Cancelo on loan to Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
couldn't make it up, could you?
Cancelo play.
Couldn't make it up, could you,
mate? I mean, the thing is, everyone else manages to get their deals done. This doesn't. It feels like, let's be fair. All right. Chelsea having 120 million tug of war Benfica, but we're talking about 120 million pounds. We're talking, that's mega money, right? We're talking I have not got the facts in front of me, but I'm guessing that'll be one of the top 5 or 6 transfer fees of all time. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it would be. It would be, yeah.
Right? We're talking about getting £45 million players over the line, and it is Groundhog Day with every transfer. And yet every transfer we hear, the window's not shut yet. Wait till the window's shut before you judge. Like
Savva, but it's not. We're not talking about £45 million pound over the line. We're talking about a player that has a release clause of £45 million, a player that you can activate at a click of a finger and then offer him a deal and he signs for your club. None of this negotiating rubbish. They're negotiating £120 million for a player, and they're rejected. They're having to barter to get that done. So you can understand, well, they're big deals. Okay, if we were in for a player for £120 million, I'd give a bit of juve to go, and you know what? It's a lot of money that you're negotiating. We're on about a deal that we could have done with 12 days to go. With 12 days to go of a window, that can be done. It's mad.
I agree. I mean, let me ask you guys a question then. If this doesn't happen, and if Jed Spence stays, so obviously 2 things we don't know, it would now be the time to chuck Jed Spence in and just go, give the guy a go. Like, I don't think he will do that, but surely something's got to change in that right wing back area, because Royal and Doherty are just horrible.
Yeah, as fans, yeah, of course we'd change it, wouldn't we? But Conte doesn't like Jed Spence for whatever reason. And if we're messing up this signing, then what's he going to do? I think he'll just carry on picking the same lot. It's going to be Emerson Royal rotating with Doherty to the end of the season. And it's going to be a sort of screw you to the board. It's going to say, you provide me with nothing, I won't change it. So that's the state we're in. So many other things, though, isn't it? It's all the little things, like you keep talking about constant rebuilds, and we're doing that with loan signings. How does that work?
Yeah.
When have we ever rebuilt? Everyone this sort of phrase rebuild gets spouted by everyone. We need a rebuild. But what does that actually mean? What that does mean is you get rid of 5 players and you bring in 6 players. When have we ever just done that? We don't do that. We never do that. So it seems to be like the buzzword everyone uses about a rebuild. We need to just build. We haven't built anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, the key thing for me here is this: is if we're feeling like this as fans and we can't even get this sort of a deal done, and I know we'll go back to this whole conversation of how much Conte's being paid, but if there was ever a time for Conte to walk and absolutely show up the board for what they are, it is the 1st of February, isn't it? If ever there was a time, I'm sorry, I want it to happen so much. The guy to get up and go, nah, sorry.
You're spot on
Perhaps he'll be more iconic if he leaves on April the 1st.
Yeah, maybe.
No, but this is exactly what you and I keep saying, Savva, and we've said this for a while, and we get people going, but you should be backing Conte and not backing the owners. No, both don't come exclusive. I want Antonio Conte on Wednesday the 1st, to walk out and say, do you know what? I wanted Pedro Porro on day 1 and he hasn't come. I can't do this anymore, and go. And I'd respect the man more than anything. I mean, someone just tweeted me. This is a good one. I'll shout out to Mike P, who tweeted me. I put Poro to Man City is going to happen, innit? And he went, yeah, make his debut and he'll score against Spurs against us. It wouldn't be a shock, would it? You wouldn't. It's the most Spurs thing to happen.
It's full of Spursiness, isn't it? Every window. I mean, look, when we break this down, guys, again, if we're unhappy with this, Conte must be. This is a serial winner. Yeah, and again, I'll always caveat by saying, forget what we think of him, Kuva, and his football style, etc. He must be sitting and going, what is going on? Surely him and his coaches must be having behind the scenes chats going, guys, we've made an absolute schoolboy here. We've made a huge error of judgment joining this football club. And that's why, personally, when you say, yeah, people say, oh, you and Kuva and Poro, you've got to back Conte more. It's not us. It's not us that need to back him.
Exactly.
I'd give him Porro. I'd give him Skriniar. I'd give him Madison.
Cape, whoever he wants, yeah.
Right.
If he does storm out after the transfer window, if he actually does what people are hoping for, I know I'm hoping for it, he storms out and there's just this bunch of abuse thrown at the board and their lack of ambition, I will be cheering him on his way out.
Bob.
Amen. I will buy a Spurs shirt with Conte on the back, right? Yeah. I will hang it on my wall, and when my new outhouse is built down at the bottom of my garden, where I'm going to be streaming from, all you will see in the background, every stream will be Antonio Conte shirts. I'll buy 3 of the fuckers. All 3 kits with Conte on the back because he'd be my hero.
Yes. I'd get a Conte as a Messiah shirt and I'll wear it every time we jump on stream if he walks on Wednesday.
Let's not get too disheartened though, because the Poro deal could still happen. I mean, if Manchester City, for example, now that Cancelo's gone, decide, Poro's the lad and go in for a bid for him, we don't need to worry so much because, I mean, what's he going to think? I could go to Manchester City and, play under a serial winning manager, some of the best football that I'm likely to play in my career, win truckloads of trophies and get paid a really great wage. Or I could just come to Tottenham and have what we have.
Mad, isn't it?
Not a nice shiny stadium. You'd rather play in a nice shiny stadium, Kuva, don't you?
They don't have a skywalk, do they? In your face, City. Or do they? They probably have now.
The thing is, look, we've always known there's an option for that's what you get if you jump down. That's what you get. He wants to come back up, but he jumped down, so he's going to be left in the corner for a minute. Sorry, I forgot I was streaming then. I was like just talking to you two. We always knew there was an option for Pedro Porro to possibly go back to Man City because they got the release clause. Do you think that they will action that now that Cancelo's gone on loan? Or do you think they're covered with Walker and Lewis on the right and then Ake and Gomez on the left? Do you think they've got enough or do you think they'll sign him?
Wouldn't put it past them.
What? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I said. So, do I think it happened? Probably not. But would it shock me? No. I mean, their buyback clause is nothing. It's peanuts. So, like, if they wanted him desperately, they would do it. And would it shock me? No. It would be quite. As I said to you, it would be the most Spursy thing ever for him to go and score against us on Sunday for playing for Man City. It's the most Spursy thing ever.
Yeah, people in the chat making the obvious comments as well. It's like he came from City. He's going to have friends there still, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he will. But if someone's going City don't need Poro. I mean, they don't need half the players they sign, but they go and sign players because they can improve their squad.
I mean, I know this sounds counterproductive, and I'm sure this is a terrible thing to say as a Spurs fan. I'm almost at the point where if we don't get him, I almost want him to go to City, I almost want the transfer to go through and we go, there you go, look at the state of our club. Look at the state. I mean, there's rumours circulating that Newcastle are going to go for a bid this afternoon for James Maddison. I don't know if that's true, but you've got these clubs making moves. And it's
just signed Anthony Gordon.
Maddison's a great move for Newcastle, I think.
I think sensational move. I think he guarantees them top 4 as well.
Yep.
Guarantees them. Imagine him tucked in behind Callum Wilson with Bruno Guimaraes.
Well, they got Isaac as well. They've got 2 good strikers.
Isaac. They could play a 4-3-1-2.
And they never concede goals. So all they need is that little bit of extra creativity.
Exactly. Almiron and Gordon out on the wings, Maddison down the middle, Isaac or Wilson up top. I mean, the thing is we all laugh and we all said when Anthony Gordon was linked, and I said, do you know what? I'd have Anthony Gordon because he improves our squad. But we didn't get him because we didn't want to pay the fee and whatever. And he's now had a meltdown at Everton. He's gone to Newcastle. Tell you what, I bet you in 6 months' time we'll be looking at Anthony Gordon at Newcastle going, bet we wish you signed him because be coached properly at Newcastle.
I think the difficulty with Spurs going for a player like Anthony Gordon, who I think is okay. I think Eddie Howe will probably get the best out of him. I think Eddie Howe would be a fantastic football coach. But it's a position we don't need. I get it. The Danzuma it's loan. It's a loan. Yeah. Spurs can have him there as cover. if you get an injury to Son, to Kane, to whoever, Kulusevski, you put him in, and there's no risk to the football club, right? It doesn't matter what we think of him. There's no risk. You're bringing Anthony Gordon for 45, 50 million, right? First of all, that deal would take us about 7 years to complete.
Yeah.
Then the problem you've got is, does he start above Son? No. Does he start above Kulusevski? No. Is he starting above Harry Kane? No. Then all of a sudden you're in the realms again of like what happened in the window with Richarlison. You've spent a huge chunk of money on a player that isn't going to play. So all these people that are saying, oh my God, this is a terrible signing for Danzuma. Is it? It's a loan. Yeah. It's a loan.
Good squad player.
It's a squad player, right? My issue is not there. Gordon, for me, should never been a thing. James Maddison, on the other hand, that's where we don't have anyone. That would be a sensational signing. But Kuva, we're sitting and watching. It's like Newcastle announced to the world, didn't they? We're now not in these words, but we're now part of the big 6-7. Look at our money. We can go and we want to win things. And it's almost like all the other clubs went, oh, let's start buying. Let's start, let's keep up. Spurs have just sat there and gone, popcorn. Let's just watch. Let's watch as you overtake us. Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing, Kuva.
Just I'll always say this. People say, don't look at what Arsenal do. It's all about us. No, it isn't. You've got to look at what your rivals do. That's who you're competing against. What have they done? Top of the table. Go out and reinforce in January. That's what big clubs do. If you're at the top, you add to it. You keep driving. You keep going forward. Forward momentum at all times.
And as Savva said, they didn't rest on their laurels when they couldn't get Mudryk. They went, do you know what? We're going to sign Trossard under Spurs' nose because we were after him. And under our noses, they went in and got him.
Well, not under our noses.
In front of us, in front of us.
Under our 12 million offer for it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, spot on.
12 million. I mean, I would say, guys, where do we go from here? But we kind of know. I mean, as we said, even if we get the deal done, we still need that centre half. I saw them talking about on Sky Sports this morning again about Hincapié. But there's been no bidding. Does anyone trust that Spurs could put a bid in the last 24 hours and wrap up Hincapié in 24 hours?
Oh, I was with you until the wrap up bit.
Yeah.
I don't even think Spurs will get it done in the summer. Let's be frank and obvious. There'll be other clubs that will be looking for a young centre half. Do people honestly think that we are the club that he wants to come to? When there'll be clubs in Europe. Inter Milan are going to lose Skriniar, so they're going to need another centre half. So, would you rather go to Inter Milan or go to Tottenham, where you have an opportunity to win the Scudetto in Italy? So, do you see what I mean? I mean, like when we hear about these names and stuff, we go, "Oh, they'll be great players," but there'll be also other clubs wanting these players. And people, when we talk about these transfers, miss that bit completely. Oh, we'll get it done in the summer. Well, what does that mean? So we think that this is going to happen in the summer? No, because there'll be other teams wanting these players.
And the other bit that gets used as an excuse as well is, oh, we don't have all this oil money and things like that. Look at how Newcastle are spending. They haven't signed a single player that we couldn't have done.
Agreed.
Not a single one of them.
Agreed.
Botman, what a signing. Nick Pope, what a signing. They're both of those less than 25 million of it, Pop, if I remember rightly. Wasn't Nick Pope about 12 million or something? Ridiculous. But there's so many others. You look, Badiashile gone to Chelsea. He was 20 odd million. They're well affordable prices. Easily upgrade our team. We never do it.
Yeah.
But this is exactly it, Kuva. You're spot on in exactly what you just said there. People sit and say, we can't just throw this sort of money at a player. Yes, we can. Yes. This is the thing. Yes, we can. People miss this part. We make so much money.
Perchy, the problem is, you look at our fan base, like I look at Chelsea putting £120 million bids and £95 million bids for Mudryk and go, oh, so jealous. Our fans go, yeah, but he's never worth 120 million. Who cares?
Thank you. That is exactly it. Who cares? And you're absolutely spot on. I said, can we now, as a fan base, if because this is our fan base. In one breath, is we're a big club. The next minute, we can't spend that sort of money on one player. See, both things can't be exactly. If we're a big club, we'd have had Porro done. We'd have gone and put in a stupid bid for Hincapié and hope that they go and push them to sell. And then we'd have gone and spent £150 million on 3 players. But we've got the 3 players that we wanted to get in. But so we can't say that we're a big club, but then act like an absolute small club. It works both ways. I think we're a small club. The way we operate like a small club.
We do.
We operate like an absolute tiny club. I've seen Fulham looking to recruit this window. I've seen Forest go, do you know what? We're going to do all we can to stay in this division. So we're going to go and bring in Keylor Navas. We're going to try and bring in Felipe, you mentioned. There's a couple other names. John Joe Shelby from Newcastle. All these names. I'm not saying they're all the players that we need.
Good,
but that's what I mean. That's exactly my point, is we operate like such a small football club compared to everyone else in the league. We have no ambition because it makes no difference.
Yeah.
As I said, you jump in.
Sorry, just quickly, I just want to say I've been holding on to this super chat. Big up, Bob Spur. I did have a little chuckle internally with this one. He said, the fact that I woke up this morning wondering if there's still a player in Ndombele just shows where we are. Enic dictating our ambitions again. Big up. Look, this is the difficulty, is fans are having these conversations now as, should we bring back Lo Celso and Ndombele? And that's how bad it's got. Players that did nothing for 3 years, we now are talking about coming back because we don't buy better players. I mean, is there anyone in the chat that defends what's going on? I mean, I know I don't feel there is, but is there anybody? I'd be really interested to hear, not have a go, but I'd be interested to hear what the rationale is, what your methodology is, or what you think their methodology is. Guys, talking about transfers still, lots of talk again that Tanganga, apparently there's 7 or 8 clubs that want to take him, but Spurs are blocking the move because of the homegrown issue. Again, Kuva, it just comes down to it's the 3 Ps, isn't it? It's the piss poor planning. Tanganga should be a player we're going, see you later, mate. Thanks for everything. See you later, you're not good enough. But if we won't even let him go, what are we doing?
Who are the outgoings in the last, well, let's say 3 transfer windows? It's not very many, is it? We get a few out on loan and that's it. They're going to come back again.
Well, you've had Jack Clark, Stephen Bergwijn,
Harry Winks.
No, not loans.
Sales.
Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Yeah.
Struggle, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
But this is exactly the point. Is this is what I say about big clubs operate properly, and this is exactly the point. Is it doesn't just all about incomings; it's all about outgoings. The fact that we've still got people like Harry Winks, Ndombele, Lo Celso, I could name 5 or 6 more still on our books, says more about us as a football club than anything else. Because big clubs, if it doesn't work for them, what they say is, do you know what? Ain't going to work. We're going to rip it up. If we have to take a massive loss, we take a massive loss on these players. We don't care. We just need them off our books and start again. The fact is, but when the homegrown situation, the fact that we have to reject deals for Tanganga, and I don't think he's the worst player in the world, but I don't think he's the greatest player either, it just shows how bad. Sorry, just as my point it just shows how bad that our network of getting young players through our system is terrible. The fact that because we need to keep players that are homegrown through us as a football club on our books, because we can't bring anyone through. Apart from Harry Kane, I can't remember when was the last time we brought through a player that was of Harry Kane's level? We can't, can we?
I mean, look, for me, though, Perch, it's not even a Harry Kane's level, because for me, the Harry Kane's coming through a youth academy. They're once in a generation for me. That is real, But for me, it's even looking at Arsenal bringing through Sackers, Smith Rowe. You're looking at didn't they bring through players like Willock as well, and players like that?
Joe Willock
since moved on. You look at Chelsea bringing through. I mean, they bring through 4 or 5 a year, don't they? At Chelsea.
Chelsea are the weird ones where they don't just bring people through. They have to get players off their books through because they're not good enough for their first team. You look at Tariq Lamptey. Mark Guehi. Who's the other fella? You're gonna get me before I say it. I can't remember his name. Tamori. There's loads of them.
There's loads of them. There's loads.
Oh, Livramento at Southampton. That's what I was thinking of. They've all these lads. They don't even play for the first team, and they don't play for the first team, and they're getting 20 million quid for them.
Yeah.
But you think about the lads that are coming through our academy. You wouldn't be able to get 10 quid for half of them, because they don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
it's a pain.
Just quickly, let's look at a few of the comments in the chat. Stuart Anderson saying if we're a big club, we wouldn't be buying Porro in the first place. He's a punt. For me, sorry, isn't every transfer in some sort of way a punt? Which right wing back in the world are we getting better than Pedro Porro, Stuart? Sorry, I'd love to know who you think we're going and buying better than Pedro Porro at right wing back.
But this is that was exactly what you're going to. I'm just going to say on that part. You say about Pedro Porro as a punt. The only way, the only right wing back that you would say is an elite right wing back is Hakimi. If people think that we're going to sign Hakimis in windows, you're too far gone in thinking that we're going to sign these players, because we're not. We're not that player team. We're not Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, Man City. We're Tottenham Hotspur.
The only way we're spending money on Hakimi is if it's the number that's forced to go on overpriced burgers, really, isn't it?
Nonsense. It's just silly. Again, Foxy just highlighting some of the brilliant recruitment Newcastle have done. Pope 8 million, Burn at 12, Tripper at 12, Botman at 34, less than Davinson Sanchez. What I am starting to see in the chat as well, and I'm seeing online, is a lot of people now all of a sudden, we didn't want Poro anyway.
Oh, here we go.
The usual. Dodged a bullet.
Oh yeah, exactly. But this is exactly.
The dogs are off to get Levy.
Yeah,
get them, boys.
But this is exactly. I mean, do you know what the best thing to wake up to wasn't the Pedro Porro deal collapsing? It was that Nuno's already won a trophy. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's gone and won the Saudi League today, like last night, which is incredible.
The best thing to wake up to is, thank God I support City. I thought I was a Spurs fan.
Oh, don't.
That'll be the best.
It's pain, like.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the problem, Kuva, is, as I said, is you get the immature stuff of, we didn't want him in the first place.
Yeah.
What? So just stop with that nonsense. This is our problem. We need, and this is where we said about everyone needs to unite about this ownership. And I'm having a real serious moment here, because the problem that we have is we've got people all kind of relatively want the same thing, but people don't want to go about it the same way. Actually, everybody at this moment, this should be the catalyst to unite the fan base to say the ownership has to be the main priority of everyone's discussion. And I say this to people in the chat as well, because some people don't necessarily agree with what I say, Kuva or Savva as well. We don't all agree on the same things. But there is one thing we do agree on, that the ownership is holding us back as a fan base. And we should collectively work together. Some people don't like the means of certain ways that certain others do things. And we can all agree and disagree on certain things. But this Pedro Porro deal should be a reason why we have to have a serious conversation about this ownership. And nothing changes. It happens every single time.
Yeah, it's not even a conversation anymore, is it? It's just pointing at that man at the top. Do something. Sell up, move out, or fix your ways.
Exactly.
He's got to completely transform the way this club is handled. The football inside of it is all wrong, top to bottom.
It's horrid.
We're buying a luxury roof in the likes of Conte when we haven't even got any bricks to build walls with.
Exactly, that's the horrible part about it at the moment. We don't get it as a fan base. Every other fan base unites at these sort of moments. Look at Man United. Look at Liverpool at the moment. Liverpool fans are kicking off at the moment about their owners. Liverpool Football Club, yes, they're below us at the moment in the league, but I can damn sight put it that they'll finish above us this season.
Yeah, just quickly. Sorry, I just worked out in the background. Sorry, I had a delivery. So of course it wasn't mine. Had a delivery. That 22% of you have liked the show. There's 421 of you in on a Monday lunchtime, and only 22% of you have liked the show. Please smash the like button. It really does help. Guys, just a quick super chat that I've got to get in here from 164 Spurs. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. has said there isn't a single player that our owners can't afford. They just choose to keep most of the transfer money. Our fans just take it. Look, there is. Look, I mean, look, thank you very much for that. Look, let's be really, really honest. There are some transfers which I do believe are outside of the realm of possibility, for sure. And I think that goes for 95% of football clubs in the world. But I think what we're asking for as fans in the summer, asking for players like a Botman at 34 million, asking for Pedro Porro at 45 million, asking for a James Maddison at maybe 60, 65. These transfers, guys, should not be beyond our capability. And if they are, what on earth was the point of moving stadium? What was the point?
To make tons of money for themselves and not care about us on the football pitch. That was the reason for the stadium. Has anyone that still believes the notion about us moving stadium was just so we can compete with the elite? I want to know why you think that, because there's no evidence to show that. The reason why they made it, and as what Savva said on previous streams, the reason we moved to the stadium is because it's the stadium prints money. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with us winning trophies. Has nothing for us to compete at the levels of a Chelsea, a Man City, a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich. It has nothing to do with that. And if you still believe that, you need to get your head out of the sand and look at reality. Genuinely.
Yeah, Kuva, anything to add on that bit?
No, perfect. Sums it up nicely.
Yeah, it is shocking, isn't it? I mean, the key thing for me is we were buying better players when we were in the old stadium. When I look at the caliber of players en masse we've bought since we've moved to the new stadium, I mean, yeah, there's been a couple of good ones. I mean, Kulusevski stands out. Romero, hit and miss for me. I don't get me wrong, I like Romero, but again, struggling. Bentancur, I think is good, but I think people go way overboard about. But in general, where are your Lloris signings, your Carl Walker signings, your Moussa Dembele, your Jan Vertonghen, your
and I think even more cutting is a few years back, you could look at the league table on the wages paid out by clubs, and we're like right down the bottom with as a percentage of turnover. And I think that's sort of risen recently. But then you look at where we're really paying out the bulk of our wages. It's players that aren't even at the club. We've had to loan them out. It's you know, Ndombele, Lo Celso, how much are they earning? Just those two alone. You know, no use out of them whatsoever.
Couple of comments I would like to address. This one is easy to address. Do players from the Portuguese league perform well in the Prem? I mean, Darwin Núñez. First and foremost, if you actually look at what Darwin Núñez has done, it's not terrible. I don't think it's bad at all. And second of all, he's only been here about 4 or 5 months. But
I could list 5 players that have done brilliantly in the Premier League from there.
Well, this was going to be my point. If you actually rattle off the players that have come over from the Portuguese league, Moutinho, yeah, Neves, yeah, Bruno Fernandes, João Cancelo,
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz. When you look at these players and people come out again, party after party, you're always in here, big up to you, mate, but you really do use these before this. You can't just use one player and say that the Portuguese players don't work out. Cristiano Ronaldo, I believe, might have been Portuguese.
Yeah, and he came from Sporting, didn't he?
It's ridiculous when we say silly things like this. And then this one, I just have to. Yudo N has said, Savva, mate, why do you always blame Levy? This is obviously Sporting at fault. You are fickle. I mean, mate, you have to be a troll, because if the last 22 years of these scenarios happening haven't taught you what you already know inside but don't want to admit, then I can't help you, dude. I really can't. No, it definitely wasn't Pedro Porro at my door. I can assure you of that. Yeah. Go on, Kuva. Sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to about that being fickle part. Yeah, just look at the history. Look at the history. How many times do we leave a priority signing lasts all 30 days of a window, and then we might not even get them? It's only this club that consistently does that. Some others do have deals fall through. usually a backup plan. They get somebody else, or they
Yeah.
don't need them that badly. We're desperate for some of these players.
Mhm.
Our right wing back slot is absolutely diabolical.
Oh, shocking.
If we don't get this one over the line, it's just the other club at fault, isn't it? Always is, isn't it? Hugo Lloris deal that nearly fell through. I suppose that was down to Leon, was it? No, it's us constantly haggling. We get to the point where a club reluctantly says, "Yeah, okay." If they change the terms at the last minute, I'm at the point now. I say, "Good, give Levy a bit of his own medicine. He deserves it."
Yeah.
So
I'm
many things about this club I hate. I'm almost tempted to bring up the stuff about the new ground. You know, we're forcing it, saying this is such a great thing, and big up Levy is still regenerating the community and everything like that. What we actually did was getting the council to agree to force compulsory purchase orders on people's homes and businesses. It was a horrendous thing to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of the locals aren't celebrating like it's celebrated between our club. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the same. There's always a reason to big up the bloody chairman, no matter what he does.
It is terrible, isn't it? I mean, I do feel that. Listen, I get it, right? There are. I think it all depends on age. I think if you are. Oh, this dangerous talking about people's ages. I think if you're an 18-year-old fan and you've never known any different, this is great, right? Because the last sort of 10 years since you've properly understood football, you've seen Spurs in the Champions League a number of times. And you go, this is wonderful. I think when you're of a certain age and you've seen all of this before, right? It just stinks. The whole thing stinks. Look, guys, let's bring this back. We've got Brian Hill, who we know has definitely gone out on loan. Tanganga, they won't let go out on loan, apparently. There was Sanchez saying apparently he didn't want to leave. I don't know how any of this ends. Hang on, let me just address this person. Let me just address this. I've got to. Can't help it. Savva said Hong-Min Son is dog shite. And Sonny scored a brace. According to Savva, Son is dog shite. Charleston and Kulu are trash. No striker scored more than Son except Kane. And here is where the C word is applied. And no, I'm not being rude. The word is context. Savva said that Hong-Min Son's form this season has been dog shite. And Savva would be correct in saying Hong-Min Son's form has been dog shite. You are everything wrong with the fan base. 2 goals against Preston, and all of a sudden you want to start telling everybody they're wrong because he's been crap all season. Have a day off, mate. Have a day off.
Come on, mate. I called it. You know, Sonny scoring 3-0 win, trebles on.
I did. I was going to say I did watch. I thought he was going to get the hat trick, and I was going to see your reaction, Cooper.
I was happy when I saw his number held up. Like it was like
because you knew it was coming.
No, do you know what I said to you, Cooper? Straight off the gate, I said I couldn't believe that he put his number up. I genuinely thought you'd leave him on there to get a hat trick, right? Can I just say to people like that as well? Listen, we're YouTubers. We talk about players' form. We talk about the ins and outs. That's not me saying I don't want to see Hong-Min Son get the form back and score goals. Let's try and be a bit mature about this, right? Please, let's be mature about this.
I think to be fair, the problem is for a lot of people is Savva runs a channel where people tend to say what they think rather than what's popular. Or
exactly.
Just cheer blindly no matter what.
Yeah.
Some people love it for that. That's why the popularity is growing rapidly. Some will always complain. Funny enough, how the ones that complain keep coming back to keep complaining, though.
Yeah, it really is.
It's true.
It really
Spot
is. And on that note, if anyone would like to subscribe, please do. We're flying. We're heading up towards 3,500 in very quick time. So please.
And yet again, if you're watching and you haven't hit the like button, you're not allowed to enjoy the show. Go on, run along.
Dude, by the way, Digger D. Listen, I have eyes, mate. You are a snake. You are a snake. If you don't think I saw what you were saying about me last night in the comments of Spurs Corner, you can go and do one, mate. I saw everything you were saying. So don't come in here giving me any kind of waffle. You're a snake. Sorry, I will call out people as snakes. I will. I'll show you boys later what he was saying about me.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Just quickly, Foxy, talking about Portuguese players, has put a nice little list together for us.
Oh, gosh.
Ronaldo, Bruno, Diaz, Edison, Diaz, Ramirez, Luis, Jota, Silva, Nani, Neves, Mendes, Paulinho, Carvalho, Ferreira, Boamorte, Matic.
Fair play, Foxy. That's quality.
But they struggle, don't they, the Portuguese?
Yeah.
I mean...
Because they've given one example of a player that hasn't really struggled.
Yeah, it does make you laugh. It does make you laugh. Guys, on a serious note now, how much is this transfer window going to affect our top four chances? Like, I know we've talked about we don't care about top four, but the club do. Have we got enough? Have we got enough without bringing in these players, right, to still get top four in your guys' opinion? Have we got enough firepower to get us over the line, or is not having the wing back and centre back? Go on, Kuva, what are you laughing at?
Eric Dyer. He's Portuguese born, isn't
he? Yeah, Eric Dyer's the one.
He's not born in Portugal. He wasn't born in
Portugal.
Portugal.
Raised.
He was raised. He moved from Everton, didn't he?
Again, just quickly, Pipes, before I ask that question to Kuva. This is what I mean. What we don't do with players is we don't learn. Like, we didn't learn from the Leicester hat-trick. For me, I'm happy Son got a couple of goals. Now let's see for the next 3 or 4 games in the league, let's see that form continue. Not a couple against Preston.
Does it against Man City and we beat Man City, then I'll get excited. But if he goes and has an absolute dog shit performance against Man City, then it makes no difference.
That'll be a really shoulder dropping sort of moment if he just drops form again.
I mean, talk to me in the chat, people. Top four. Lots of people saying it's long gone. But look, let's be honest, right? I'm going to try and put some positivity here into this chat. We're saying top four, a lot of people, is long gone. We're 3 points off of top four with 17 league games to go. Why are people saying, Kuva, why is it long gone?
Look at the quality of the teams in that top four. We got to remember, earlier in the season, we were joint second.
Yep.
We've been slipping down the table. Others have overtaken us and gone into that top four. Man United were well below us at one point. They're on the ascendancy. We're on a run of not very good form. Yep. We've got a couple of wins recently, but that's also the losses that go with it. Just look at the fact the likes of Newcastle have only lost 1 league game this season. Last-minute goal against Liverpool. That's the kind of form gets you in top four. That's, a few more goals added to it. That's the kind of form wins your championship. We are not in that class at the moment. United are on a hell of a roll. As I said, Newcastle unbeaten, and the other two are City and Arsenal. Arsenal at the top playing great football and deservedly there, and City snapping at their heels trying to retain their title. And the likes of Haaland up front, who's going to score, still on course for scoring 40-odd goals in the season. We're nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
Even with the 3-point gap, Kuva, even it's just 3 points.
Even with a 3-point gap, it would take a change in form. We're not just talking about gaining 3 points. Oh, we're back in. It's all plain sailing. We are still struggling to maintain any decent form. Our biggest winning streak of the season in the league's 2 games, isn't it? I think that's about right. So,
I was just in the chat, you just put up there like that. If we get a new manager, the only way we get top 4 is if Harry Kane drags us there, and that is if we get 4th place, and it's all because of Harry Kane. He'll be the only one that drags us to Champions League football. Genuinely, I can't see any other player doing enough to get us there apart from Harry Kane. He's playing out of his skin at the moment with service from some absolute dross at the moment. Yeah. I mean, how has he scored that many goals in the league? Yeah, and this is the point. If Haaland wasn't there, we'd all be talking about how is Harry Kane scored? Is it 17 goals in the league?
Let's have a look.
Double check on that. How many he scored in the league?
Harry's got 16 goals and 1 assist in the league this season from 21 games. So 17 goal contributions in 21 games.
So he scored 16 in 21, sorry. When you think about that, that's insane when you think about the service that he gets. Like he has to work his arse off to score a goal for us. It's not where, and this is the debate we had about with Haaland and a few about him scoring. I mean, look at how Haaland has to play around. People say about, imagine if Kane was in that position, the amount of goals he would score at City, because half of Haaland's are tap-ins, because he gets the ball fed to him in areas which he should be scoring. Like Kane, I've had to watch Kane have to like score worldies to beat teams. And I say this on this channel with you, Savva, all the time. We don't win games unless Kane scores worldies. So Kane goes and dominates the game because he has to. The pressure's on him all the time.
Can I just say, with this point here, Philo, 1, 2, 3 coins, I think the difference between this season and last season is when we were 10 points behind last season, there weren't very good teams that we were behind. I think Man City and Liverpool has run away with it. Chelsea were in absolute free fall with the whole since the new year because of the Abramovich situation. And other than that, Arsenal weren't what they are now. Man United weren't that good. West Ham weren't that good. We weren't that good. Let's be really honest. We weren't that good. This year, I don't think we're going to be able to do what we did last year. I don't think we're going to be able to drop those silly games like we did against Burnley, like we did against Brighton at home. I don't think we'll be able to do that and still get the top 4 because Man United, Newcastle, City, look, Liverpool and Chelsea could still come with a run. You don't know. Brighton, Brentford, these Fulhams, they're all in there. It's a very, very different league this year, isn't it, Kuva?
It is. If nothing else, you compare the form we were on last season under Conte to what we are this season under Conte in the league. Conte has always managed to sort of averaging 2 points a game wherever he goes. It's the bench line mark for him. Last season under Conte, we got exactly 2 points per game from his 28 games in charge. We got 56 points. 2 points per game exactly. This season, we're 6 points behind doing that. We are performing worse than we were last season. Mm-hmm. And last season, we only just scraped top 4. So it was that really good start we had, which a lot of us said was a false position earlier in the season, where we're getting away with murderous results, like away at Chelsea when we played off the park like no other time I can even remember, and we somehow get a point out of it, and scraping wins against the likes of Wolves and Brighton in not particularly good games, totally unconvincing, but we did get the points. Yeah, that's fallen away now. Now we are losing to Villa. We are continuing to lose to the big clubs we play. It's not happening. We are behind where we were last season, and this season more than last season. We will need more points to make top 4. I don't see any argument to say we're well in the race. I mean, it's only that 3-point gap, and that's temporary.
We're on 36 points with well over half the season gone now. So look, we've got 17 games left to play, 36 points. I mean, on that ratio, I don't know if somebody in the chat can work it out. 36 points from 20 games. What would that end up being at the end of the season for us? I don't know.
Well, it's going to be less than 76 points by a long way.
Yeah, right. I think the good point. Look, use an example. Are we any better off as a football club this time 12 months ago? I genuinely think we're worse as a squad.
I don't think we are. I don't
think we're anywhere better than we were last season. And now I just read this. This is incredible. Spurs on course at the moment have signed Bryan Gil. 18 months later, have given Sevilla 21 million quid and Eric Lamela and Bryan Gil in 18 months. And we all get told that Daniel Levy is a good businessman. So this is the notion from the people that want to support Daniel Levy and they think he's done a great job and he's a good businessman. How is that good business? How?
I'll come back to that in a second. Just quickly, Philo, do you know what, right? During the summer, when I was saying Spurs would finish 4th, I was saying to people, God, I feel like I've been way too positive here. And it looks like that. But for me, I still genuinely believe with the players we've had, with the manager we had, that I thought we would be doing better. I'm just going to say, I genuinely thought we would be doing better. But what I've seen is I don't think any of the players have improved. I think we've got a lot of players that are playing a lot worse than last year. None of the new players that have come in are being allowed to hit the ground running, i.e. Basuma. None of them have been given opportunity. Spence, Basuma, for example, Richarlison. If we finish fourth, great. But equally, like a lot of people are saying, Kuva, it doesn't really matter because we won't go out and buy what we need to make that leap from fourth to second to first, will we? So the stepping stone that is fourth is actually a ceiling for us. It's not a stepping stone, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, start before the transfer window in the summer, and we were having these discussions, I said, if we have a great transfer window, there's no reason we can't push on, go for second place. Then the transfer window finished, and so had I. I'd changed from possibly going for second to no chance. We'll be lucky to get fifth. Or said, we might scrape fourth. We might scrape fourth. Even that's looking a distant prospect now. You just look at the form we're on. It's not the top four form. Yeah, so it's a lot of these fake results of fake positions earlier in the table, earlier in the league in terms of the position in the table. It's glossed over a lot of things, papered over some cracks. The people are using the little yardsticks like, we're still in the Champions League. That's great. But I remember us talking about what an easy draw it was and how we'd just coast through that. And we had to go and get a result on the last day of the last game of the group stage.
Kuva, I'm seeing people say that about AC Milan, by the way. They're playing terrible at the moment. They're not playing any worse than we are.
We'll soon find out, won't we?
I mean, this is the part of it. We have this notion as a club, and Savva's pointed it out before, and we've mentioned it before, that as a fan base, we kind of belittle other football clubs, but then big us up as a football club. I don't think we play any better than any other team in the league at the moment. And I've said this for a while.
Perchi, there was so many in the summer talking about title races.
Yep.
And there were so many of us being belittled for saying, you don't think we can be there? But people, look, I'm not mentioning names, but loads of people who I work with saying Conte will have us in a title challenge just because he's that good, not the squad.
Yep.
And I don't know what. Look, listen, I love it. I love the positivity. I love the hope. I love the dreaming. But surely these people didn't genuinely think that was going to be a reality, did they, Perchi? Surely not.
No, but this is the problem. Is as I said, you're right. I love the optimism. I love sitting there going and being optimistic, thinking we can challenge. And we've got to a point. I've got to a point now where I think you're in a similar boat to me, where I don't care anymore. Like in the sense, I watch all this optimism and say, yeah, we've got an Antonio Conte, but we're asking him to try compete with some really average players, and it's to the point where and the Pedro Porro deal, and this is where this is all stemming from, is a prime example. If we were a serious football club wanting to a challenge for titles and Champions League and stuff, we'd have signed Pedro Porro on week 1. Regardless of our opinions on him, some people may think, he's not that great or whatever. It doesn't matter. He's the one that, as a football club, we've identified as the player that we need to improve said position. The fact that, as I said, it just sums us up as a football club that it's not done yet. And it doesn't actually matter. And it's all about the bigger picture. But that kind of impact, I can't get my words out. That kind of involves our kind of situation at our football club, that it makes no difference. Because actually, we could sign Pedro Porro tomorrow, but it means nothing. Because really, that's one of the spokes on the wheel that needs to be fixed. But it's taken us 30 days to fix one spoke. We've got 5 others that need to be fixed.
Yeah. Just quickly, Nate asking if I'm doing a stream for Deadline Day. I'm not myself. I will be going live tomorrow night on Henry's channel with him. Henry's doing Henry thinks he's Kuva and I doing these mammoth streams.
Yeah.
He's going live, I think at about 3 or 4 o'clock. Henry will go live right the way through to midnight. So I'll be joining him when I finish work, and I'm sure we'll have lots of fun and lots of jealousy seeing other teams pick up players in the last hours of the window.
Lots of fun. That'll be interesting. You could just do a smash your room up stream.
Good day. I just wouldn't want to wake the dog up. Look, if I did a stream, I'd look at him. living his best life. Yeah, look, the whole AC Milan thing is interesting because AC Milan are in dreadful form. Let's get this right. AC Milan are getting battered at the moment every single game. They've got injuries, but they are getting battered. They're not in a good space. However, we're not playing them now, are we? We're not playing them just yet. That can change. So I'm not one of these fans that goes, oh, my God, look, Milan are getting battered. We're going to smash them. Hang on. This is Tottenham Hotspur. We could well smash them. We could. Or they could be back in form. Their manager could get sacked and they get a new manager bounce. I don't predict things. I mean, when are we playing? Let's have a look. When are we playing?
Valentine's Day. 14th of Feb.
Right. Okay. So we've got 2 weeks until we play them. Right?
Yep.
What an insensitive day for them to put a Champions League game on. Valentine's Day. What are we meant to do with that?
Savva, if you were clever, you could have taken the missus to Milan and gone, we're going to a lovely Valentine's trip to Milan. If you're smart about it, that's a beautiful city to go and have a Valentine's Day and then just sneak off for the evening for the football.
So ruin her Valentine's Day and my evening by watching Tottenham abroad. Yeah.
True, very true, very true.
Yeah, so
easy for me. I mean, split up with the missus a few years back now, so I'll just few computer games with the kids, and then I'll put on Die Hard, Predator. You know, don't have a few classic old films. That'll do. Oh yeah, are we playing?
It's mad.
It just doesn't matter. Yeah, with Milan though, isn't it? The thing is, when it comes to playing us, you look at the group stages. The way we played in those, we're one of this rare breed of clubs that gets into the Champions League and then doesn't put the effort in.
It's mad.
Yeah,
mad.
Because Savva, it actually doesn't matter how we perform in the Champions League. Because realistically, the idea is just to be there. As our business model has obviously clearly been built to be just to get that money. So as long as we're there, it doesn't matter. We win the group that we all looked at that group, and let's be frank and honest. And if you did it, you're all liars. We saw that group we were in and went, we should be battering that group. There's no excuses. Yeah. Even with the squad that we all say is crap, we should still be winning that group because it was easy enough. And we just about scraped over the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to talk about this in 1 second. This is a really interesting one. I always like Philo 123. He brings fault and provoking faults, which is what the YouTube community should be about. Just quickly, still under half of you, 387 of you in the room, 394 now in the room. Still under 200 likes. Please smash the like. I'm trying to get as close to 3,175 subscribers in the next 20 minutes. We're on 3156, so 19 to go. If anyone hasn't subscribed, please do. Kuva, interesting one, this. Oh, here he is. There's Frank. Do you think the squad was better the season we got the Champions League final or the squad we have now? Also, do we have a better manager now? Is a cup out of the question this season? I mean, there's a lot to chew through there. What do we think, guys?
Yeah, certainly is a lot to chew through. Was the squad better back then? Well, we had Alderweireld and Vertonghen for a start. That's instantly better. So's Trippier.
And Rose.
Lloris was the same. Rose. So back four was better back then. We did have Sissoko and Winks and a jaded Dele Alli at that point. Not so good.
Ericsson.
Yeah, Ericsson was sort of in the sort of checkout lounge at that point, really, wasn't he, as well? Kane wasn't fit. Who did we have on the bench then? Sort of unfit Wanyama, was it?
No, Wanyama was gone by then.
No, he's in Spurs Champions League final.
So hang on, I'm going to put it up on here.
Hang on, I've brought it up. Here you go. So the Tottenham Hotspur, the team. So Tottenham Hotspur, yep.
I thought we had like Mora, Wanyama, Lamela.
Yeah, I've got it up here.
Sanchez.
Right, there you go. So our sub bench was, so the team that started was Hugo in goal, Trippier, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Rose, Sissoko, Winks, and then Dele Alli, Ericsson, Son, and Kane.
Yeah.
Our bench was Vorm and Gazaniga, Davinson Sanchez, Walker Peters, Juan Foyth, Serge Aurier, Ben Davis, Eric Lamela, Victor Wanyama, Fernando Llorente, Eric Dyer, and Lucas Moura.
I'll tell you what.
So for
Carl Walker Peters gets in our team right now. Juan Foyth gets into our team right now. Davinson Sanchez still he's crap.
Serge Aurier gets into our team right now.
Yeah, Serge Aurier gets into our team right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which squad was better. I would say that squad because that back four was good. That's a very good back four. Lloris was not making as many mistakes as he's making now.
There's also context as well, though, isn't it? Because at that point, we had basically let the team start, decaying. The new blood was not coming in at that point. That was really going to sort of turn the team around and push us. Well, not turn it around, but push us forward. So we were watching a team in sharp decline. Dele Alli was not the player he was a couple of seasons before that. Eriksen not playing the same way. Unfit Kane. You take all that into consideration. You probably say in terms of sort of healthy and fit, we're better off at the moment. But you look at that back four; it's a lot better, isn't it?
We look at that midfield, and we do overplay players and stuff, and we all moan about Harry Winks. But I tell you what, in that Champions League season, Harry Winks weren't the worst player as well. We actually got a tune. Pochettino actually got a tune out of Harry Winks. He also got a tune in certain periods with Moussa Sissoko at centre midfield.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest, Perchi. If we look at that team to this team right now, what that team's got is a back four that can defend and a creative playmaker in Christian Eriksen. So for me, that pisses over anything we've got right now.
Exactly.
If I'm on it. That pisses over anything we've got right now. A competent defence, a playmaker. You still had Son and Kane. You had, Dele Alli was that was kind of the first year that he was kind of the beginning of the end for him. But when I look now, I don't think we've got a lot. I think a lot, even I think, here you go, I'm going to say something. Not so much Kulusevski. No, not Kulusevski at all. I still think we really overhype. When people tell me the signings we've got to make are like Bentancur, I'm like, yeah, he's a good player. But I don't sit and watch Bentancur and think he's this marvellous central midfielder that's going to completely change the way we play. I think he's a good player that needs better players around him in a free way.
Agreed. But Savva, you're spot on in that. And there's another point I want to make. We have a massive issue at centre midfield. I think we can all agree. And our midfield isn't great. I think we can all agree. But somehow Bentancur's a really good player. Højbjerg's one of the best centre midfielders in the league. You hear from our fans. Two things can't be correct. We're either a problem. Our problem areas are at centre mid, but we can't also have really good centre midfielders. It doesn't go both ways. I think in midfield we're really weak. And I've said this. So I think Højbjerg. I think he's average. I think no other top six side would have him in their team. No other, and I'm on about the top six right now wouldn't have him. I wouldn't even say the top half would have him in their team. And I look at it, I was like, Basuma's been completely mismanaged because I think we've got a player there, but he's mismanaged. And then we got Skip, who I don't think is an incredible player, but I think he's there. So I think he's average. So we have to be contexted. We can't. And then I think, but Bentancur, everyone sort of hypes about him. But I think we've just got to that level now as a fan base that we hype up our best thing and make him sound better. But he's nothing special, Bentancur. I think he's all right. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I think.
But do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes down to being starved. Like I like Bentancur. Yeah. By the way, I'm not knocking Bentancur. I like him. I like him as a footballer. I mean, Kuva will know this more than anyone. I don't subscribe to overrating every single player when they've had 3 or 4 good games. Like, I like him. He is not the issue in this club at all. But Perchi, you make a brilliant point. People have told me all year that Bentancur's been brilliant and Højbjerg's had his best season. But then people will tell you we can't control games because our midfield isn't strong enough. Well, which one of those two do you want to believe? Yeah. Kuva, where do you sit with all that?
Start with Højbjerg, shall we? Start of the season, I think when we were grinding out some results we didn't really deserve, I'd say he played really well. Since then, I think he's been pretty poor for us. Goes missing in a lot of games. Can't cover the ground properly. He doesn't seem to sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck that we're hoping for. Bentancur, other way round, I'd say. Quiet start, and he's grown into it. He's getting more and more confident, starting to add goals to his game. looking a better player. He looks like he is developing under Conte. Then he gets injured, and it sort of puts the brakes on a bit. Yeah, we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. I agree with the likes of Kulusevski, just a talented player.
Yeah,
He'll get into most teams. With Bentancur, though, I've always maintained the same thing. I view him as the sort of player Busquets would be at Barcelona. He's not the one that grabs your attention. He's not the one that's going to, go, wow, that's what the Barcelona style is all about. He's the one that sort of sits there that facilitates the better players to get on with that, what they do best. I've always seen that with Bentancur. He's not the headline grabber until he starts scoring a couple of goals in sort of recent matches. But I'm not saying he's as good as Busquets. I'm just saying he's that kind of
few.
He's
about 10 runs down
he's
the
to
ladder.
us. He's to us what Busquets is to prime Barcelona.
Again, as I said, like I feel like in as a football fan these days, if you don't say you think a player is magnificent or you don't think they're shit, it means you either don't rate them or you think. Do you know what I mean? It's like I like him. He's a good player. I don't see him as any more than that. I feel like there's a lot of games where I want more from him. A lot of games where I do feel that they kind of pass him by and he looks a little bit lackadaisical. And then other games, like the Leeds game, I thought it was excellent. So I guess that's all players, right? But I think this probably, he's tidy. Yep, he's tidy. That would be a summary of it. Guys, I'm going to go for another 10 minutes. I don't want to labour today's points, but look, this club, I think it's days like today and windows like this that really will cement Conte's decision to leave this football club. Is there anyone that can shed any light? Is anyone in the chat, anyone in the comments truly believe that there is any way now that Conte signs a new contract? Because what you hear, Perchy, is if he's given assurances, he'll stay. But he's just had another window now where he's seen, like, well, these assurances clearly don't mean anything.
I'm at the point now, if Antonio Conte stays at this football club, I'm even going to say it after this transfer window, not until the end of the season. I'm on about after this transfer window. He is now culpable now because he's part of it. He's accepting it. If he had anything about him as a man, he'd have walked away. He'll walk away on Wednesday and say, "Do you know what? It's taken this football club to make a normal transfer." And I'm saying a normal transfer in Pedro Porro. We're not trying to make a signing like Enzo Fernandez, which is 120 million quid. We're talking about a transfer that's would have cost us 45 million euros, which is about 40 million quid, give or take, maybe even less than that. So I expect him to walk on Wednesday. On the 1st of February, he should be gone. Okay, if he doesn't, he stays until the end of the season. If he signs a new contract, he is equally as culpable as Daniel Levy because he's accepting it. And it's the same when people say about bringing Pochettino back. If he comes back, he's culpable as well because he knows what it's like at this football club. If anyone we sign that is in that sort of level, that's the problem now.
Yeah, just quickly before I come to you, Kuva, this is in fact 100% true as per Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein. Everton have bid 40 million plus 5 million in add-ons for Conor Gallagher of Chelsea.
Amazing. They've just got Sean Dyche in as well. It's just been confirmed as well.
I think Gallagher thrives in that sort of setup where they want hard-working, box-to-box, tackling. He'll grab a few goals. I think that would be a fantastic signing for Everton.
It is a huge signing.
I don't know if Gallagher is... I mean, it's difficult to tell because Chelsea are a bit of a mess at the moment. I don't know if he's ever going to cement a place in that team. I think he'd be one of the main men at Everton. I think that would be a very good signing. Kuva, you don't look
very good signing.
No, I'm just shaking my head at the price tag. I'm thinking, aren't Everton supposed to be skint?
Well, Everton, they've just sold. They've just sold Anthony Gordon.
Yeah,
I suppose.
He went for 40 million quid as well.
This is a Sean Dyche player, isn't it?
Massively.
Thing you not Conor Gallagher for is his engine, his pressing, his getting stuck in. He's a walking yellow card, but he will give them that.
He's hard. He works hard.
Yeah.
Let's be frank and honest. Does Conor Gallagher get into our midfield? Yes. I genuinely think he would get into our midfield, in my opinion. He's better than Højbjerg. I mean, he's probably on the same. I don't think he's not any worse than Bentancur, is he? Genuinely. Let's be frank and honest.
I don't think he's got the. I mean, they're very different players. I don't think
they are.
He's not got the. Bentancur's got that stylish foreign way of playing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Good on the ball, looks a bit languid, but that's okay because his touch is brilliant. I wouldn't say like when people call him like Dave just said to me that he's quality. For me, quality players show up more often than they don't. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to put players in the quality bracket.
Palmsy's right with a comment. He says Liam Gallagher gets in our midfield.
he does, to be fair.
Probably. I mean, compared to Everton, that for me, it's boosts, isn't it? Sean Dyche, I think, is an excellent football manager, by the way. Sean Dyche has just signed an hour ago, right? I think whilst we've been on this stream, it's been confirmed.
Yep.
Right?
30 minutes
45 million bids for Gallagher. For me, if I was Conor Gallagher, I would be all over that. Joseph, he's not shy, is he? Come on,
this is what I mean. Comments like that are just the problem. Like, you've got to use your common sense. You don't pay £40 million for someone that's average. It don't work like that.
It's not. This is the thing. What we do. Imagine, right? Look what our fans think of Oliver Skipp. Those fans that tell you he's brilliant. But we'll look at Conor Gallagher, right, and we'll go, "Oh, madly overrated." I think he's a good player. I think he needs to be in the right system. I think he needs to be for the right manager. But I think that's a very good signing if they manage to pull that off. I really do, guys. I think that's great. But
agreed.
Hey, that's just me.
I think it's a good move for Gallagher, to be honest, because he's not going to get anywhere at Chelsea, is he? Not with all these massive signings coming in constantly.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And I think if Chelsea were to get 45 million, you know, that pays for a third of Enzo Fernandez, or maybe they double that and go, there's 80 million, and they go and get Casado. Do you know what I mean? So,
but that's exactly the point. But Conor Gallagher is a great example actually for Tottenham Hotspur, and I'll explain the point. Conor Gallagher in the point of the way that Chelsea have offloaded him. Chelsea have offloaded another academy product for another one that's going to be over 40 million quid. Name me a 40 million pounds that would be able to offload any one of our academy products right now, minus Harry Kane. Ignore Harry Kane for a second, but mind anyone else of our academy product. We're not going to get 40 million quid for anyone. So when people say, "Oh, he's shy," use your common sense here. Chelsea are yet again offloading another academy product for more than 20 million quid again. That says a lot about us as a football club.
Yeah, I mean,
it's to say he's shy. He performed well at Palace. How can anybody say that?
Exactly. You know what? I just brought up his performance from last year. You've got to remember that was his first full season in the Premier League last year, and he got 8 goals from midfield for Palace. Yeah. When was the last time one of our centre mids got 8 goals from midfield? Right, 8 goals from midfield and 4 assists. So he got 12 goal contributions. So a goal contribution every 3 games. Look, I think it's difficult when we're judging people at Chelsea at the moment. It's really difficult because it's very disjointed there. Lots of players out. The team changes every week. The formation changes. But again, I would have him in our squad all day long. That boy will press for you all day long.
Of course,
he can run.
Well, this might be okay then, because Chelsea are sort of a holding club for us, aren't they? We get rid of our rubbish to them and then take some of their players occasionally.
Right. Yeah. But again, when people are talking about 45 million, these transfer fees are huge to Spurs fans, not to other clubs. No. These are normal football transfer fees now.
Right. In this market, and I always put it in this market, £45 million is nothing now. You buy squad players for £40 million now. This is what only Spurs fans seem to have this notion that we were back 10, 15 years ago. We're spending £40 million just signing a world-class player. Doesn't happen nowadays. Football has changed.
We've shown we use that as a squad player as well. Look at Richarlison. Richarlison does not go in the team ahead of Son, Kane, or Kulusevski.
Exactly. Spot on.
Yeah. I think as well, what I think a lot of football fans don't take into account is sometimes a player can be in a bad bit of form, but if he goes to a different club with a different structure, with a different manager, with a different set of tactics, it can explode for them. And I think we're all like, I've seen this year, like people saying, oh, Cucurella's crap at Chelsea. It's like, well, Chelsea are in disarray. Like, I think they'll get there, but Chelsea have been in disarray. How can we judge players when they're constantly in and out? You watch Chelsea's 11 every week. Because of injuries, because of new players joining, it is different every single game. There's no consistency. So until the window shuts, until they get their players back from injury, can we really judge anyone too much? It's really, I just feel like lots of football fans go, bleh, like he's crap. Based on what? Why is Conor Gallagher crap?
No,
there you go, Ed. There you go. Palace used him to his strengths, and you know who else will? Everton.
And Sean Dyche will.
Sean Dyche will get him in there, pressing, harrying, tackling. At Chelsea, it's a bit of a mismatch. Listen, I'm not saying the best midfielder in the world. I'm just saying 40 million, English player, 22, Chelsea. I don't think it's absurd money. I really, really don't. Listen, David, I will block you if you keep talking to people like that. Right? Or listen, just relax. You've been watching football for 6 decades. Who in this panel has only been watching football for 5 minutes? How old do you think we are? So either put yourself out and act like somebody who is in their 60s, or go away. Sorry, I won't let you come in my chat and talk like that. If you don't rate him, cool. Relax. No need to be rude.
Footballs are about opinions.
Jesus, no need to be rude. You do get like this. There's no need for it. Geez, I didn't think a Conor Gallagher conversation would get people so riled. But we do this a lot. We overrate everyone at our club, and everyone at every other club that has success is crap. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. He couldn't make it up. But this is our problem. But I've said this for a long time, and so have you, Savva. This is the problem: is we can't talk about we can't laugh at other football clubs for making transfers. If we had made, listen, I'm not saying that Everton have had a great business of late, because I think they've bought some quite cool players for quite a lot of money. But I tell you what, if we had spent the sort of money that they had, we would be talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's relative, isn't it? So they go and spend loads of money, and they don't buy great players for it. But we don't spend money. Yeah. It's insane. Like, we don't even have the optimism to go, do you know what? We spent a load of money and the players have been dross.
Yeah.
We don't buy anyone.
Just quickly, Stephen, when people do this with transfers, you've got to take lots of things into account.
Yeah.
Like straight away, Conor Gallagher's an English player. So straight away, the commodity on having an English player adds loads of millions to them signing. Because everyone needs homegrown players. Is he worth less than Cancelo? I mean, look, it's not like for like. People do this all the time. It's like saying Botman was 34, Harry Maguire was 80 million. There's no link to the two.
But with what he's saying here is he worth less than Cancelo? You've got to bear in mind, Cancelo's gone down up. Gallagher's going up down. So you've got to remember. So a Chelsea commodity is a lot more money. It doesn't matter about quality than Everton's. Everton are buying up, while Cancelo, Man City were buying down. So they're going buying down from what we, in air quotes, a lesser squad, lesser team in a lesser league. So you have to use that in comparison.
Yeah, of course. And look, I think the thing is as well for everything, our fans, we're honestly talking like we're a decade ago when it comes to transfer fees. Every single time people go, 45 million for Poro. Sorry, what do you expect? What are you wanting to pay? I don't see, Kuva, I don't know about you, but I don't hear any of my mates from other fan bases that talk like this about transfer fees. I don't know any of them.
I think the only time it really becomes relevant is when it's a club that's in financial difficulty or one of the minnows. I mean, if it's Bournemouth talking about it, you'd think, wow, that's a lot of money for them. It's all relative to the club size, isn't it? 45 million.
Bournemouth are doing these bids, Kuva.
Yeah,
Well,
Bournemouth are making these deals. That's the thing.
True. But I mean, it's relative to the situation, and let's face it, we are not short of money. No matter what anybody says, this club's got huge money making potential. We could do a lot more than we do. We just choose not to. So 45 million, it's nothing really, is it? Just
to put into context about Bournemouth, we use Bournemouth as an example. Bournemouth put in an official bid to sign Zaniolo, a player that we've been talking about as a transfer for us. The player was one that rejected Bournemouth. So and I read it actually about it just before we came on the stream, that actually Bournemouth went for a player that we've been linked with and been told we couldn't get. The player wants out at Roma and he rejected Bournemouth, meaning that the club had more ambition than we do.
When was I rude to you, Mikal? When you're wrong, I tell you you're wrong, but I'm not rude to you, my friend. I offer you to come on all the time. You never do. Yeah, guys, look, I do want to wrap it up there, but look, I do feel that as fans, we've got to keep our eyes on the prize, right? Our eyes on the prize is we want better players. If better players mean spending more money, which it kind of does in reality, we shouldn't be worrying whether a player's 45, 55, 65, 75. This is what our club have created. They've created the best stadium in the world, told us that we're moving there because we want to be better as a club. Okay, you want to be better as a club, that comes with bigger prices. That comes with paying big ticket prices, right? That comes with expensive beer, expensive sausage rolls, programs, replica kits. So as fans, we've got to stop worrying so much. Look, Gallagher's a 30 million player, 45 is too much.
Who cares? It's not your money.
To who?
This is the point, though. This is the bit that annoys me. He's a £30 million player, but they're paying £45 million. That £50 million is irrelevant to Everton if they stay up because of him. If he scores the winning goal that gets them the 3 points that saves Everton from relegation, they do not give a toss about 15 million quid. That's it. Trust me.
And you've got to remember, it's not going to be these deals. It won't be 40 million up front.
No,
it won't be 40 million up front.
It'll be over long periods of time.
There, you know, 40 million for
it's the old adage: a player's worth exactly what somebody else is prepared to pay for him. That's
absolutely.
That's the market. Itself. That is exactly that's the market we're in. And you're right. And every player has a price tag, but the price tag is met by how much he's needed. As I said, Chelsea don't need to sell him, but Everton need to play for him. This is what I'm trying to get to. Chelsea don't necessarily need to sell him, but if they get the right price, they will sell him. It's all contextual, isn't it? So, and this is where people really don't get it. It's not your money. You're not the one paying the £45 million. So why do you care? And I say this all the time when it comes to like transfers. Same with the Poro one. People going, oh yeah, but we're not going to pay it all out, right, brother? Why do you care? Don't you want good players coming into this club?
By the way, Romano has said that Chelsea are expecting a few more bids for the player as well from other clubs. So look, it's you know, if multiple clubs want a player, he can't be that bad. And if that's the case, I'm sure they'll do whatever. Sorry, so Stephen said, your belief then, Oliver Skipp is north of 30. No, I don't think Oliver Skipp can tie Conor Gallagher's boots as a footballer. So no, I think.
But sorry, just to jump in. But the irony is we're the sort of club that would reject a £30 million for Oliver Skipp. We did it. Dele Alli was the prime example when we got that 90 million pound bid from Real Madrid. We should have accepted it and snapped their arms off for him. We never did that.
Yeah. Sorry for me. Kuva, where do you stand? I mean, Oliver Skipp. Listen, I if anyone offered me 15 million for Oliver Skipp, I'd take it. I don't think he's more than a championship footballer.
He's a waste of time for us, and we're a waste of time for him at the moment. He's never going to get the game time here. I want him to do well with his career, but I don't see how he's going to get the chance to do that with us. He's got to move away.
Yeah. I mean, somebody said he looked good. I mean, I know you're taking the piss, but look, I think that's his level. If I'm really, really honest, I thought when he was at Norwich, that's his level. I don't think he's got the engine. I don't think he's got enough pace in his legs. I don't think he's good enough on the ball. I don't think he has any kind of outstanding attributes. If I'm honest, I feel like he's Ryan Sessegnon, but in central midfield. If I'm honest, I don't see anything there that makes them stand out for me. Listen, I am going to leave it there. Any last thoughts, Kuva or Parchi, before we do?
I wish I'd grown up supporting somebody else.
I think. I mean, I'm at the point now where I don't care anymore. I think people are going to get all upset if we don't sign Porro. And then the irony is do you know what the great part about it is tomorrow? We probably will announce Pedro Porro tomorrow as a Tottenham player, and you'll get all the, well, look, he's signed now kind of crap. That wasn't my point. My point was we should have signed him on day one of the window, not on the last day of the window. But
just quickly, Peter Simons, I can't see any link between these two players in any way, shape, or form. When people, I don't get this. What do you mean? Lucas Moura's a forward or a wide man. Conor Gallagher's a central midfielder. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Anyway, look, guys, I hope Poro does come through. We need a right wing back, but nothing surprises me. If it comes off, it comes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And let's be really honest.
Be prepared for the Adama Traore 37 announcement tomorrow. Look, I'm just saying it.
What I don't want to see is we get Porro and then everyone goes, see, what a great window. No. You pure need your centre back. It's just painful. But look, thank you everyone in the chat. Had some really good conversations. It is what it is. I'm sure lots of more rumours are going to come out. It's 3:00 on the penultimate day of the transfer deadline day. I'm live at 5:30 on Rants and Bounces channel, where he acts like my therapist and lets me talk about Tottenham. Other than that, I will see you on Henry's stream tomorrow, people. So thanks very much. Take care. And as always, Enic and Levy
out.